Hey, what's up everyone? It's Justin here, and today I've got my top 5 features of the new Samsung Galaxy Note 4. So I've been using this device for about 3 days now, and I gotta say I've had a pretty good experience with it so far. And although there are much more than 5 things I could talk about with this device, I've tried to kind of narrow it down and leave out the obvious ones such as the camera, and instead try to focus on primarily the newer changes they have made on the Samsung Galaxy Note 4, and also one of the more prominent ones I find I use often. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The first awesome thing they've done with the Samsung Galaxy Note 4, of course, is its build quality. That pretty much goes without saying. For the longest time, we have been waiting for Samsung to finally shift towards a metal design, and the Samsung Galaxy Alpha was the first indication we saw of that. The design on the Note 4 is reminiscent of the Alpha, and it kind of goes with what we saw on the iPhone 5 and 5S with the chamfered edges, and I think that looks really nice. It has the metal band, but the edges are nicely polished and give it a chrome look, and I had a very tough time deciding whether I should purchase a white or black device. But from having a chance to see both of them in person, I gotta say they both look very nice, but in the past, you may have seen I have gone with white devices in general. And although the metal only goes around the sides, you have to hold on it to really experience the fact that it kind of takes the device to another level, and it gives it a nice premium flagship feel to it. The device measures in at 8.5 millimeters thick and weighs in at 176 grams. The back of the device also features a pretty similar plastic design, but that I really don't mind, as it allows the back to still be removable and allow you to swap out the battery, the micro SD, and your SIM card very easily. But one good thing they have done to it is get rid of that fake leather stitching. My second favorite feature is again a pretty obvious one, and that is the new display. It features a Super AMOLED display which is 5.7 inches in size, and it comes in at a resolution of 1440 by 2560. This is a pretty nice step up from the 1920 by 1080 resolution full HD display we saw on the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, but although it was pretty expected, you gotta see it in person as it looks absolutely stunning. It pretty much goes without saying that the text and the icons absolutely jump out and pretty much pop out of the screen, but the thing is, a lot of the Android apps, in fact pretty much every Android app, hasn't been optimized to take advantage of this extra real estate in terms of its pixels through its resolution. But for now, I would say that this screen resolution, although it is nice to be able to web browse on it and look at that crisp text and just browse around the menus, it is pretty much just a future-proofed device when everything mainstream becomes QHD. The third feature I would like to talk about is the S Pen, and for the past few years, you may know that Samsung was kind of the pioneers of a phablet device. One of the things that they have done to set the Note line apart is through its stylus, and that is the S Pen. It is one that I have found myself to use more and more, and something that you will have a lot of fun using, whether it is drawing up your Snapchats or being able to take a quick snapshot of the screen. And although there hasn't been many new features that was introduced this year, it is one of those that I find myself using a lot and thought it was worth mentioning as a top feature. So by taking the stylus out, it will automatically activate the small menu, which is called Air Command, and that allows you to select from different choices in terms of what you would like to do with the stylus initially. Again, it is great for just drawing around and using different art apps on the Note 4 and taking advantage of that massive display. But a few of them I like to use a lot is the screenshot modes. Personally, I don't use Action Memo at all, but one that I like to use is just being able to select a portion of your screen and share it very easily. And the rest I don't use too much, aside from being able to take a screenshot for wherever you are and annotate it and just draw over it. So I do have quite a bit of fun with those two, and those are the two features in the S Pen I primarily use. Next up, I would like to talk about the battery life, and the Note line has always been known for a pretty good battery life, and this device features a 3220 mAh battery. The Note 4 has done very well in terms of its battery life, and the standby time, although could be a little bit better, from using the device has been able to last me quite a few days. As always, being able to remove it and swap it out at any time is also a huge plus, so Samsung has stuck to that remark. But something that we first saw introduced on the Samsung Galaxy S5 is now usable on the Note 4, and personally I think it is a really great feature. It is called the Ultra Power Saving Mode. There is also just the Power Saving Mode, But the ultra power saving mode allows you to absolutely maximize the battery life of your device. You can see here from the calculations, it is estimated to have a max standby time of 12.1 days. And pretty much what it's doing is turning off all resources that don't necessarily have to be used and leaves you with the crucial ones such as phones, messages, email, and web browsing. And the screen is in black and white. The standby time is very short. So like I said, it is pretty much turning off every single unnecessary resource and just leaving you with the crucial apps that you would like to use. This is especially useful if you're going on a camping trip and might not need your phone that often except for making a few calls and don't want it to be out of battery by the time you turn it on again, or if you're going on a flight and you didn't have time to charge your device but also need to make a call when you land. So the ultra power saving mode is very handy to have, and it is something that I will probably be using quite often. The fifth feature I like to use is the multitasking mode, and this has been around in the Note line once again, but in the past on certain devices I found it rather inconvenient to use. Either it lagged or it's just a little bit annoying, but they have made a few improvements to it, and with the Snapdragon 805 processor and 3 gigs of RAM, it definitely works very well and it seems to be taking full advantage of that. The principal features include being able to have an active window running while you're just browsing around the main interface of the device, and that is thanks to its huge 5.7-inch display and trying to use up the extra screen real estate. So to access your multitasking mode, just hold on the back button for a few seconds. That'll bring up your menu. Certain applications can only be run on an active window and not through the dual window mode. But the dual window mode is the kind of standard one that I like to use most of the time. It allows you to drag two different applications onto a screen and stretch it around, and if you have to transfer files between that, it now allows you to do that as well. You can also switch it into full screen mode or translate it into an active window mode. But you can see all the screen animations are still working, and in general it has worked very smoothly for me on the Note 4. So that has been my top 5 features on the Samsung Galaxy Note 4, and some of which are completely new things that we've seen to the Note line, and others we have seen before, but just ones I want to touch base on and what I'd like to use. But of course, some more coverage on the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 will be coming up, as well as a full review, but let me know down in the comment section what your favorite features of the Note 4 are, and I'll see you all in the next video.